This episode is brought to you by PropelOff. People take authentication for granted, but it's more than how customers log into your product. It's how you manage your relationship with your users. The easiest way to make authentication your advantage is to use PropelOff. PropelOff is more than just functional. It's powerful. With tools like Managed UIs, Enterprise SSO, robust user management features, and actionable insights, PropelOff adapts as your product grows. And the best part? When off is effortless, your team can focus on scaling, not troubleshooting. That means more releases, happier customers, and more growth for your business. Save dev time, win over your customers, and propel your business forward with PropelOff. Check them out at propeloff.com. That's PROPELAUTH.com. This episode is sponsored by NordProtect. In a world where data breaches are on the rise and identity theft is becoming more common, you have to take steps to protect yourself. NordProtect offers you everything you need to keep your identity safe, all in one easy place. It's built to help you safeguard your identity with advanced automation that works 24/7 on your behalf. Things like dark web monitoring, credit monitoring, security alerts, and more. And if the worst should occur, the platform walks alongside you for identity restoration. NordProtect plans come with financial coverage across a wide range of threats, from identity theft to online fraud and scams, so you are covered when it matters most. Get an exclusive 5% discount on NordProtect plans. Go to nordprotect.com/codestory and use the code CODESTORY at checkout. You can also find the link in the episode notes. That's nordprotect.com/codestory. This episode is sponsored by Codecrafters. As an engineer myself, I know that the best way to learn how to code is to build something new. But sometimes it's hard to come up with project ideas as well as find a community of folks on the same learning path. That's where Codecrafters comes in. With Codecrafters, you can build something that actually stimulates your mind while strengthening your engineering fundamentals. And you can do so by using your favorite IDE or tools to code and build your own Git, Redis, or HTTP server in the language of your choice. Languages like Rust, C++, or Go. Codecrafters is designed to optimize your learning experience as it's designed for productivity. Sign up today and become a better, more confident programmer. Visit codestory.co/codecrafters. That's CODECRAFTERS to get started and get 40% off your upgrade. Okay guys, I got a serious update for you. You heard me talk about SEMA and the product roadmap radar. I just caught up with Matt, who's the founder there, and he gave me the latest on what they are building. And my mind is blown. The team at SEMA are taking things to the next level. Built around the core of the product roadmap radar, i.e. code and Jira analysis, they are building agent orchestration across the product lifecycle. Picture this. You hook up this system same as before, i.e. integrate your repository and your backlog, Jira today. From that point, SEMA's agent analyzes the codebase and makes suggestions as to what needs to be done next and what could improve, optimize the product. Then, if those tasks are routine, the agent assigns the task to a coding agent, think something like Devin, to complete the minutia, while assigning the human-in-the-loop task to engineers themselves. What you end up with is engineers focusing on building core competency features, while AI handles all the rest. If you're not salivating right now, I don't think you fully understand what this means. But here's what I would suggest. Right now, their product is in a closed beta, and SEMA is looking for folks to sign up for their Product Intelligence Advisory Board. This gives you the opportunity to use the product, give feedback, help shape the future of what's built. Oh, and not to mention additional free usage of the product, potentially through the end of 2026. So, if that fits your workflow and toolset, you need to reach out today. Go to codestory.co/nextlevel, NEXTLEVEL, and reach out to Matt at SEMA to learn more and join the Product Intelligence Advisory Board. Again, that's codestory.co/nextlevel. This episode is sponsored by Postman. Postman is the world's leading API platform, trusted by 98% of the Fortune 500 and over 40 million developers. Tap into APIs from 18,000 plus companies to power agents that make smarter decisions. Learn more at postman.com/podcast/codestory. This message is sponsored by Melee Search. Today, search isn't just a feature, it's a cornerstone. And Mainly Search gives your users the experience they need with lightning-fast performance, full text search, AI usage, and multimodal capabilities. Mainly Search delivers relevant results in less than the blink of an eye. Use the promo code CODESTORY at checkout to get 2 months free at MeiliSearch.com. That's MEILI search.com. This episode is sponsored by Incogni. Listen, guys, I don't know about you, but I get real tired of managing the spam and cold outreach to my contact info. Those annoying emails, phone calls from unknown numbers, wasting our time and valuable attention. Not to mention the bad stuff from data breaches, which are rising every year. To top it off, data brokers out there harvest our information and sell it to people who intend to spam you and scam you. So what do we do about it? Well, I use Incogni. I signed up to use the platform, and within 30 minutes, hundreds of requests had been sent and completed, removing my data from the public view. Incogni tracks down and removes your personal data from online directories, people search sites, and commercial databases. The process is fully automated for the hundreds of known data brokers who sell our data without consent. Got a site that they don't auto-hit? No problem. There's a custom removal feature to take down almost everything that is exposed online. So take it from me and take back your personal data with Incogni. Go to incogni.com/codestory and use code CODESTORY at checkout to get 60% off annual plans. You can also find the link in the episode description. That's incogni.com/codestory, because they can't harm you if they can't find you. This episode is brought to you by Paddle. Don't settle for less when you can have more MOR with Paddle, your merchant of record. Eliminate the headaches of payments, grow your revenue everywhere, and focus on what you do best, building your product. Get more revenue with less hassle at paddle.com.
This wasn't always true, but the good news is, if I look at the full arc of the 6 years, like what we do today is very much built on the experiences and the capabilities that had been built before me, and we continued to build once I joined. You have 3 pillars of this. You've got the log DNA pillar, which is like incredibly useful for the experiences and the scale. Then you have the Mezmo timeframe, which was really building the capabilities to shift the processing of data to real time and integrating the ability to process, analyze, and retain data in a much more dynamic way, with the foundation of that being the telemetry pipeline. And then the third pillar I would inject there is and then AI. My name's Tucker Calloway, and I'm the CEO of Mezmo.
This is Code Story, a podcast bringing you interviews with tech visionaries.
Spent 6 months moonlighting.
There's nothing on the back end.
Who share what it takes to change an industry.
I don't exactly know what to do
took
next.
many goes to get right.
Who built the teams that have their
A
back.
company is its people.
The teams help each other achieve
I was
more.
proud of our team.
Keeping scalability top of mind.
All that infrastructure was a
Yes,
pain.
we've been fighting it as we grow.
Total waste of time. The stories you don't read in the headlines.
It's not an easy thing to achieve, mind
Took it
you.
off the shelf and dusted it off and tried it again.
To ride the ups and downs of the startup life.
You need to really want
It's
it.
not just about technology.
All this and more on Code Story.
I'm your host, Noah Labhart, and today how Tucker Calloway is bringing AI-driven observability to your stack, powered by active telemetry and driven by agents operation. Tucker Calloway grew up in Alamo, California, in the East Bay area, and has returned to that area to raise his family, 25 to 30 minutes outside of San Francisco. He studied computer science at Cal, but eventually moved into sales engineering and then to sales. But outside of tech, he is married with 2 kids, one in college and one in the latter years of high school. There's lots of change going on in his family's life right now, but Tucker finds time to do woodworking and build his own cabinets. 10 years ago, a couple of co-founders built a solution to make log management easier for developers. Tucker joined that company, observed the dynamics of the industry and the company. He and the co-founders decided that to take the business to the next level, they needed to change the physics of observability. This is the creation story of Mezmo.
Mezmo today is very focused on what we call AI-driven observability. Primary thing that we're really proud of right now is we've taken a different approach to what most of the market has taken in terms of delivering AI-enabled outcomes in the space of observability. And we do that through a technique or an approach called context engineering, which is a different approach than what you typically hear about, which is prompt engineering. And so in doing so, we get you to agentic kind of AI-driven outcomes with 10% of the cost of what you might find in your typical AI approach with much higher accuracy. And that all seems unbelievable right now. And it's really exciting. We're just in the process of bringing this out to the world right now. But so that's like the moment we're at right now. Super exciting. It's been 6 years of work to get to that moment though, which is very interesting too. There's probably two levels to the origin story. The company was founded about 10 years ago. It came out of the kind of one of the YC classes, and the founders are great guys. They were really focused on, actually they pivoted out of something else that they had done, and they were focused on making log management easier for developers. And that's like the thing that really guided them. They had done some really amazing things, but lacked a little bit of intention and kind of structure. Like they were, I call them brilliant opportunists, brilliant entrepreneurs. But in order to take the business to the next level, I felt like we needed to take a different approach. So they actually brought me on as president. And shortly thereafter, we all came to the mutual conclusion that it made sense for me to take it, or for the company to go on this journey, which ultimately turned into the journey of Mezmo. Well, that was kind of the first story. Second story is super interesting because like here I am operating a log management company. And I came to the conclusion that like the physics on the industry of observability and specifically log management just didn't work. Like we were basically highly dependent upon the cost of storage. And I felt like as I engaged with customers and helped them get value out of our product and watched them go through the massive cost overruns, and then I was dealing with like cost on my side too, I realized that basically what I was doing was with reselling storage. It was a big data problem more so than the value we were trying to derive on top of observability. So we set out to about 3-4 years ago to change the whole dynamic of the physics of observability, and which was to shift more of the compute and more of the control into the real time, into data pipelines, and to put more control into the data orchestration layer rather than just storing all the data on disk.
I'm curious about what you would consider the MVP, right? So that first version of Mezmo, right, that you built or came to life or something. And I'm curious about how long it took to build and what sort of tools you're using. So there's a 6-year period there of where all of this could go. So I'm curious.
This wasn't always true. And I didn't want to force it to be true because I wanted to do what was purely the right thing. But the good news is, if I look at the full arc of the 6 years, like what we do today is very much built on the experiences and the capabilities that had been built before me, and we continued to build once I joined. I'd say in my log DNA pre-Mezmo years, if that makes sense. So you have 3 pillars of this. You've got the log DNA pillar, which is like incredibly useful for the experiences and the scale. We were the log management provider for IBM Cloud. So we were operating at massive enterprise scale across 12 data centers worldwide, and like just gained so much knowledge about managing telemetry data and log data. Then you have the Mezmo timeframe, which was really building the capabilities to do to shift the processing of data to real time and integrating the ability to process, analyze, and retain data in a much more dynamic way, with the foundation of that being the telemetry pipeline. And then the third pillar I would inject there is and then AI. There was actually this moment where I think those 3 things have come together in a super unique way, right? There's things we wanted to do with the business when it came to the processing of real-time data that we just weren't able to do. And AI all of a sudden has given us this opportunity to do that. And then when I look at the opportunities of AI, so much of it becomes a data management problem more so than let's say a logic or analysis problem. Like that logic and analysis is highly available now through the foundational models. And what we have found is that these outcomes we can deliver are largely based on our ability to manage and to take those 2 other pillars, right? So take the knowledge and the experience we have of how to handle this data combined with our ability to process it in real time. Those 2 things come together in a really special way, but without the secret sauce of AI, you don't get this massive unlock of value that we're excited to bring to our customers. Is it lucky or good? I think maybe, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to say what the difference is. I think sometimes you also like, when I think about it, it's like we had this really pure intention that we needed to change the way the data was processed in the observability space. And I think that it's also fortuitous that something like AI came along to help us accelerate that path too.
This episode is brought to you by Vention, the engineering partner you need after the MVP launch. So you built fast with Lovable. You shipped your MVP, impressed investors, and maybe even landed your first users. Now comes the hard part. Vention's AI discovery workshops are built for teams who have moved fast and now need to figure out what's actually worth scaling. Led by senior engineers and an in-house CTO, the workshop helps you pressure test your use case, catch gaps early, and build a roadmap your team can actually deliver on, with the kind of engineering support that brings peace of mind, not second guessing. Lovable got you live. Vention gets you ready to scale. Go to ventionteams.com or book your AI workshop now at ventionteams.com/codestory and go from idea to impact faster. That's ventionteams.com/codestory. This episode is sponsored by Fullscale. Let me guess, your team's shipping sprint velocity looks good, but you're still asking yourself, is anyone actually thinking about the why? Matt Watson's been there. He's the founder behind Vin Solutions and Stackify and now runs Fullscale with a 300-plus person dev team. And after 2 decades in the trenches, he's seen the same pattern over and over. Smart developers stuck in systems that reward ticket-taking instead of real thinking. That's why he wrote Product Driven, a playbook for tech leaders who are done babysitting developers and ready to build teams that own the outcome. If you're tired of translating every feature, doing all the thinking, or wondering why your smart team is still stuck, this is the fix. Go to productdriven.com/codestory to grab the book and get the bonus toolkit to help your team shift from output to outcomes, like 12 bold ways to get your retros out of robot mode. Again, that's productdriven.com/codestory. This episode is sponsored by Search. In today's digital landscape, search isn't just a feature, it's a cornerstone, and you need a user experience that drives customer satisfaction. You need Search. Search is lightning-fast performance, returning answers in less than 50 milliseconds. Yeah, you heard that right. Faster than the blink of an eye. The open-source AI search engine is plug-and-play, so you can get up and running in minutes with smart presets, allowing you to start searching through your data with zero configuration. Search utilizes advanced full-text search and AI, ensuring your results are ultra-relevant with semantic depth. It's multimodal, supporting images, videos, and audio, along with being federated, i.e. searching across multiple data sources. And it's developer-friendly. Whether you're building a content-rich website or enterprise application, Search delivers the experience your users expect and deserve. For a limited time, CodeStory users can get 2 months free. Use the promo code CODESTORY, all one word, at checkout. Just go to melisearch.com and get started today. That's MEILI search.com. This episode is brought to you by Paddle. As a startup, you face unique challenges to stay competitive. You and your team need to stay focused on your product, not your payments. You need to do more, MOR, and DIY less. With Paddle. Paddle is your merchant of record, becoming the seller of record for your SaaS transactions, enabling your team to focus on what's important, your product. Paddle handles all payment management across multiple gateways and methods, taking ownership of tax liability while remaining compliant with regulations across all markets. The platform handles all aspects of SaaS billing models, upgrades, add-on, trials, and more. Let's look at the results. MOR revenue optimization is built into Paddle and accounts for up to 16% higher conversion rates, reduced payment failures, localized pricing, and churn prevention, recovering 40% of cancellations. Their developer-friendly tools are API first with comprehensive documentation, removing the burden from your engineers. With Paddle as your merchant of record, you'll generate more revenue, find and keep more customers, grow faster, and stay compliant everywhere. So what are you waiting for? Get more revenue with less hassle at paddle.com. Okay, guys, I got a serious update for you. You heard me talk about SEMA and the product roadmap radar. I just caught up with Matt, who's the founder there, and he gave me the latest on what they are building. and my mind is blown. The team at SEMA are taking things to the next level. Built around the core of the product roadmap radar, i.e. code and Jira analysis, they are building agent orchestration across the product lifecycle. Picture this. You hook up this system same as before, i.e. integrate your repository and your backlog, Jira today. From that point, SEMA's agent analyzes the codebase and makes suggestions as to what needs to be done next and what could improve, optimize the product. Then, if those tasks are routine, the agent assigns the task to a coding agent, think something like Devin, to complete the minutia, while assigning the human-in-the-loop task to engineers themselves. What you end up with is engineers focusing on building core competency features, while AI handles all the rest. If you're not salivating right now, I don't think you fully understand what this means. But here's what I would suggest. Right now, their product is in a closed beta, and SEMA is looking for folks to sign up for their Product Intelligence Advisory Board. This gives you the opportunity to use the product, give feedback, help shape the future of what's built. Oh, and not to mention additional free usage of the product, potentially through the end of 2026. So, if that fits your workflow and toolset, you need to reach out today. Go to codestory.co/nextlevel, NEXTLEVEL, and reach out to Matt at SEMA to learn more and join the Product Intelligence Advisory Board. Again, that's codestory.co/nextlevel.
That's a good segue into my next question. I'm curious about how, from that point you progress and mature the product. Wrap that in a box, but I'm curious about roadmap. Like, how do you go about deciding that, okay, this is the next most important thing to build or to address with Mezmo? And I think that probably combined with the comments on AI and things of that nature, there's an interesting story there. So I'm curious to hear.
Typically, you have a question that's very centered on customers and customer feedback and things like that. I think we're at a pretty interesting time where that is obviously still true. There's also a need for a little bit more invention and maybe a little bit more forward thinking right now, maybe more so than ever. One of our foundational beliefs is when building with, for, around AI, we should really be thinking more about the experience of how do I give people practical operational access to the value that AI can deliver. And it's a very different roadmap thought than maybe what we've been used to. Like what we've been used to is I'm going to build algorithms or IP, and that IP is going to define me. Like I can process data better or different than anyone else, or I've got some like snappy algorithm that does something better, like some more efficiently or with some better outcome. And that's readily available to us now. And so now we think about how can I provide people with reasonable, practical, efficient, scalable, accurate access to that. And so, so it really changes the way we think about a roadmap.
So with that, you've got to have the right team in place, right? To bring something like this to the market, right? How did you build that team? How did you go about building the team? And what do you look for in those people to indicate that they're the winning horses to join you?
Right now, it's all about open-mindedness and curiosity. And I'm fortunate that's a team we've had for some time. And it's fun because we are in the kind of dev tooling space. And so we have an opportunity to really listen to and focus on what our engineers think. And so it's a heavily engineering-driven roadmap, which we're very proud of. It's a very good thing. But it takes more, like what we're doing right now is really against the grain of... I'll give you an example that was one of my favorite, tangible example of the difference in how you build teams in the business with AI. I'm not a follower in any religious way of Sam Altman, but I saw him giving some talk on, let's say you're going to build a business in the education space and you want to build that with AI. And right now the models let's say that right now the models can only educate to the 6th grade level. If you're building your business to augment the model to where it can take what now is the 6th grade level and go to a 12th grade level, you're basically wasting your time, right? And so his orientation was you need to focus more on the educational experience. The models will improve in some pretty reasonable amount of time to be able to educate, no longer at the 6th grade level, but up to the 12th grade level, right? And so if you've been training models and doing all these things, you're in the AI race against OpenAI and Anthropic and Microsoft and Google and all these people. And that's not really the place you want to be. Where you want to be is providing the context and the experience around the outcome that is designed from the start to embed and include AI. And that's how you build a business in the AI world. And I feel like that mistake is being made. I feel like you told us, and I feel like that mistake is being made. So for us right now, it's like that willingness to listen and to design around, I'm not trying to be the biggest brain. I'm trying to give you the most practical access to these incredible opportunities that exist in front of us in terms of consuming AI. So we spend all of our time, it's like there's this concept of prompt engineering versus context engineering. And so we spend all our time thinking about context engineering, which basically says, I don't need to improve or train the model. The model's good enough. It's like, I look at the models as like a hot swappable engine, right? And I can go pick any ones and I just need to make sure they all fit in my cart. What I focus on, and this is especially true for high scale, high data volume operational use cases like observability, that we focus on actually taking machine learning techniques to refine the data and to improve the context so that the context that the agent gets delivers a better outcome. And like the context windows have gotten so big, but that's not helping. They're actually bigger than it is useful. And so we spend our time refining, doing the processing of the data, refine the context, and we make the inputs to the model both more dynamic and also more specific so that we get much cheaper and much more accurate outcomes with that technique.
This episode is sponsored by Search. In today's digital landscape, search isn't just a feature, it's a cornerstone. And you need a user experience that drives customer satisfaction. You need Search. Search is lightning fast performance, returning answers in less than 50 milliseconds. Yeah, you heard that right. Faster than the blink of an eye. The open source AI search engine is plug and play, so you can get up and running in minutes with smart presets, allowing you to start searching through your data with zero configuration. Search utilizes advanced full-text search and AI, ensuring your results are ultra-relevant with semantic depth. It's multimodal, supporting images, videos, and audio, along with being federated, i.e. searching across multiple data sources. And it's developer-friendly. Whether you're building a content-rich website or enterprise application, Search delivers the experience your users expect and deserve. For a limited time, CodeStory users can get 2 months free. Use the promo code CODESTORY, all one word, at checkout. Just go to melisearch.com and get started today. That's MEILI search.com. This episode is brought to you by PropelOff. People take authentication for granted, but it's more than how customers log into your product. It's how you manage your relationship with your users. The easiest way to make authentication your advantage is to use PropelOff. PropelOff is more than just functional. It's powerful. With tools like Managed UIs, Enterprise SSO, robust user management features, and actionable insights, PropelOff adapts as your product grows. And the best part? When off is effortless, your team can focus on scaling, not troubleshooting. That means more releases, happier customers, and more growth for your business. Save dev time, win over your customers, and propel your business forward with PropelOff. Check them out at propeloff.com. That's PROPELAUTH.com.
Okay, so I imagine that how you approach that problem also affects the kind of conversation around scalability in certain ways, right? I'm curious about, how you have approached scalability. And scalability can be lots of things. I'm curious about the technology aspect and, if there's been interesting areas where you've had to fight scale as you've grown.
It's one of our unique things is that, yeah, we have for sure. But we fought that battle. Like 6 years ago, though. We were like the fastest growing product in the history of the IBM cloud. It was just like we had to face this. All of a sudden, we're a little startup where there's 35 of us, and now we're deployed in 12 global data centers, and we're supporting some of the largest, most household name companies in the world through IBM. Wow, we earned those scars, if you will, but we earned them like almost as an input to this whole thing. That's the reason we could be like have the foresight to say, I don't think that training data models and the performance we're getting and the time to value we get out of the traditional approaches to leveraging AI are going to work, which probably put us in a spot where I think most people are going to get to, especially for operational use cases, like very quickly. But it puts us ahead of the game there because we were at a point in time of invention in the company, but we had this incredible breadth of scalability knowledge. So we do have the benefit of building on that. And now when I think about scalability, I'm thinking more about the human systems around it, which is, how do I move the industry to this opportunity that I've been describing to you? Like, how do I get people to not think of AI as like this complicated thing where I need to understand all these dependencies, and just that I can actually like procure systems and leverage systems that deliver it for me, that have it embedded. I can just get the outcome without having to handle the complexity. Unless, of course, you want to, and we have answers for that as well.
So then, as you step out on the balcony, look across all that you've built with Mezmo, what are you most proud of?
No, the team. I think that's like a pretty easy one. We build technology, and the companies are technology and all those things, but there's really nothing in it other than people at the end of the day. You can build something amazing, and then those people go away, then you can't support it, and you can't continue. You know what I mean? It's all people. And I think within that too, I've tried really hard to build a very open and transparent culture. Like, one of the things I've always said is, like, we're counting on me being right. We should all just go home now. Hopefully I'm right more than I'm wrong, but I have no idea. You really got to count on all the people around you having like meaningful dialogue and disagreeing and exploring and curiosity. It's like, that's such a big part of invention. It shouldn't be debate based on some divine providence of something that might be in my head. And sure enough, what we're doing now was very much not in my head. That's something that our engineering team came up with.
Let's flip the script a little bit. Tell me about a mistake you made and how you and your team responded to it.
There's a great coach, CEO coach, and one of his favorite sayings is, there's two kinds of problems in technology. There's people problems, and then there's problems you don't yet realize are people problems. And I think that's because of the nature of what and how we build. Like, we don't have a lot of physical plants. It's not like we built a building and that's there. And we, like, so much of it is so easily changed. I think I've made a lot of mistakes of not like really recognizing what stage of a company I'm in and hiring people who weren't suited for that stage. Or maybe as we talked about a lot of the different transitions, not really or properly articulating for people what this stage is and what that stage requires, and whether or not the people I'm hiring or the people that we have are really want to or had decided to be in that stage. The thing I would say that I'm proud of, though, and I'm not sure every single one of the people would agree, but I think by and large, most would agree that we always handled those situations with like empathy, understanding, passion for the individual. So those, like, I've got some like really good friends I've made along the way where the fit with Mezmo ended up not being right, but that didn't mean that they were wrong. It just meant that the fit wasn't right. And getting to a point where we can have a really good, meaningful dialogue and clear conversation about that, where they feel comfortable saying, yeah, this isn't right for me, or I'm not right for you. I mean, both are of equal importance. Like, both those two things have to be true. It's been unfortunate to make some of those decisions, but it's been rewarding to be able to navigate through those with compassion. You learn so much from every situation, and probably the best way to think of it is situational awareness. And there were so many times where I'm not sure I understood the situation I was in, and I was trying to figure out more about it. And then I feel really bad because I feel like a better version of me would have known my situation and then been able to articulate that situation or anticipate the situation that we would be in, and therefore what types of people and skills we need. Sometimes you just can't know.
Well, this will be fun. Let's talk about the future for Mezmo. What does that look like? What does the future look like for the product and for your team?
Well, yeah, I think we're in a really fascinating time, because I think scaling companies is the expectations and the opportunities are different than they've ever been. And so I think that's something we spent a lot of time thinking about. I believe we're on the very, very front end of so many industries. We're on the very front end of massive disruption and transformation. And I think that our approach is really going to make that happen for the observability industry. I've really developed a lot of confidence in that, and we've got the kind of proof and receipts. So I never know how the world's going to go, but I think we've got like some kind of hold on moments, and like losing is no fun. Being status quo is no fun, but sometimes winning is really hard too. And so it's just a lot comes at you. And the thing I think a lot about is, how do we just stay super solid as a team, super communicative, how do we just let each other make mistakes and acknowledge them quickly and move on and keep improving? So yeah, I think we got a pretty exciting, as the world changes. I think I'm going to be on the right side of that.
Okay, let's switch to you, Tucker. Who influences the way that you work? Name a person or many persons or something you look up to and why.
Feels a little cliche, but gosh, it can't help but think of Steph Curry when you say that. And the reason is, I think I've been a Warriors fan since 1975 when I was like a year old. And I went to the games with my dad as a kid, and I grew up playing basketball and all that stuff. So I'm going to be pretty inclined to the basketball reference in terms of idols. But like the thing the Warriors did is they went from being pretty average to bad team to becoming like a dynasty. They did it through joy. Like they just played with joy. Like you just watched them during their runs, and it was just like they looked like people who were just having the time of their lives. And that didn't mean that everything went their way every time. They just always found perspective and joy in doing it. And so that's like a thing I think about a lot. Like, how do we just get people to really play with joy and just enjoy the good and the bad of every day? Because that's what life is, right? It's not just the wins and it's not the losses. It's just like dealing with all of it together. So that's probably a big influence for me.
Last question, Tucker. So you're getting on a plane and you're sitting next to a young entrepreneur who's built the next big thing. They're jazzed about it. They can't wait to show it off to the world. And can't we show it off to you right there on the plane? What advice do you give that person, having gone down this road a bit?
I am like a late bloomer entrepreneur. And so my advice, where I could probably give the most interesting advice, is to people who are like maybe a little bit afraid of taking that step into entrepreneurship, right? So I'm 50 years old, and I took my first CEO job at 45, and I was there to scale a company. And then by 46, I was rebuilding a company basically from scratch. And I wish so bad I had tried to do that in my 30s or late 20s. And I just didn't have the confidence to do it. Like, it was always there. That desire, that building nature, it was always there. And I just lacked the confidence to do it. And the advice I give people when they want to go try something new and entrepreneurial is you cannot think about whether this next step is a success or a failure. You just have to look at it as a step on the journey, right? Because we get too focused on, like, people ask me, like, I want to leave my job and go do this more entrepreneurial thing, but I just don't know if it's right. And I think the ultimate answer is it doesn't matter. If you have passion for it and you believe in it, go do it. And if you're wrong, you'll learn why you were wrong and you'll make a better decision the next time. And if you're right, like, congrats, like, that's amazing. But the chances are really high you're going to be wrong. And so you just get on with what's getting on. Get out there and be wrong and learn why, and don't stick to it too long. Keep moving. And so I feel like I waited. I'm so thankful for the opportunity I've had and the experiences I've had, but I feel like it would have been more correct for me to have more confidence and try to be entrepreneurial earlier in my career. You got to commit to the journey, not the outcome. You're not going to just, it's not like one shot and you got it. Look at, while my time as an entrepreneur has been at a single company, there within that envelope, there's probably been 8 or 9 different versions. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's fantastic, Tucker. Well, I really appreciate you being on the show today and telling your creation story and the creation story of Mezmo.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's great.
And this concludes another chapter of Code Story. Code Story is hosted and produced by Noah Labhart. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the podcasting app of your choice. And when you get a chance, leave us a review. Both things help us out tremendously. And thanks again for listening.